Let's start with your social work. You are quite a figure in Swat. You've been very active during even the Taliban presence and after the Taliban area. Can you tell us exactly what have you been doing, especially in the field of empowering the women in the valley?
Help the women, help the children. My main aim was help the children. So how do I go about it? I help the mother. So I started it for the widows, for the single moms, so that they can learn and they can earn with dignity.
Will you tell us more in detail about what projects you owned and you helped the women in?
Well, actually, I got cloth, threads, machines, wool, and I started teaching them. I started teaching them embroidery, hand embroidery. You see, in Swat we have very traditional embroidery, and that is really finished. So I said, why not start with this? And with the wool, I bought a few machines. In the beginning, there were just a few. And taught them how to knit sweaters, cardigans, caps, muffin, you see. And that we would be selling them in the local market. And that's how I helped them.
Did you face any difficulties of your continuing your social work during the era of where Taliban were here?
Nor did they harm my institutions, nor did they harm my women. You know, my women would just be saying if they were stopped, once they were stopped, my one, and then the women turned around and just said that they took my name, that we are her women and we are going to a vocational center. And that's it, just once. After that, nobody stopped. When a woman would take my name, that we are going to her and her vocational, they would say, okay, you're allowed to go.
How do you see the position of the women in the valley? The valley, of course, comes under a tribal setup where the men is not in favor to let the women go and work maybe in the offices or in the schools or universities. How do you see the position of the women at this stage?
Well, women are considered inferior in our society, in our Pathan society, Pashtun society. They've always been considered inferior. There's always, they celebrate when a boy is born. But when a girl is born, there's always, oh, poor thing. So the minute she's born, she knows her place. As she grows, she's constantly reminded of her inferiority. I would say it's lack of education. Because even in our religion, a woman is not inferior. She's never inferior, which means there's lack of education.
The position of the woman. I mean, can you change the tribal traditions, the customs?
By education, by educating them. You see, if you educate a mother, if you educate a child, that's how you get a prosperous nation, through education.
There is a living example. I just interviewed Malala Yousafzai a few minutes back, and don't you think that the education has started to change the mindsets of the people? She was an example of a young lady who can be a future great woman in the society. How do you see her?
Well, we have just a few, I would say, the lucky fathers who understand. So you can't say just by one Malala it's changed, everything has changed. We really need to work hard and bring a change.
How do you want to bring the change other than educations? I mean, now it's the mindsets of the parents, the mindset that relates or goes back to 100 years back, the traditions.
So you see, first we have to tell them that they are not inferior. They can be bright. They can be much brighter than men also. So it's a slow process, but it has to come. We have to educate the community.
You see, you just rightly mentioned that we need Islamic scholars with the right knowledge to teach the people in this area. Taliban came up with a new versions of their ideology.
Well, you see, the meaning of Talib is very good.
Yeah.
Talib means a student. So I don't call them Talib. I've never called them Talib.
What do you call them then?
A curse on humanity. So they never preached Islam. They came with a force. They would slaughter. They would kill. So you see, that's not Islam. It was terrorizing people. So anybody would try to say that they came with this intention of Islam. I do not buy it. I do not believe it. No, they never came with the intentions of bringing Islam. No. They came with the intentions of terrorizing people. They were the people that were deprived in the society. And when a person, a human being is deprived, and that person gets a gun, obviously he'll become ferocious.
Do you think that you are getting enough support from the government establishments?
Oh no, government has totally ignored me. Totally. As if I don't even exist. You see, had our government been a government, things would not come to this end. They wouldn't be Taliban, they wouldn't Taliban or extremist. Our government is good enough only in the big cities. The rural areas are totally ignored, deprived. Recognize me for what? They know what I'm doing. And for them it is, okay, she's a good woman and she's doing good work. That's it. And it's not my responsibility, it is their responsibility. I'm doing what they should be doing.
How do you get funded?
Oh, I started it with my own money. I got a market, I do exhibitions. I do it in the embassies, I do it in Islamabad, I've done it in Lahore. I have sent things marketed in America. I've sent it to Dubai. And my things are really appreciated. Really appreciated. But as far as the government concerned, not a single help from their side. Not a single drop of help. Plus, there's a trust. Like when the flood came, the flood started from Swat, it was upon the trust that people came and pouring in and sending goods because they trusted me. They did not trust the government. It was upon trust. Now the houses that I've made, and we are still making, it's not my money. It is people from Lahore and everywhere, the friends and acquaintances, that they trust that yes, this penny will be spent. It's from their side.
How do you see the future of this valley, in your opinion?
Well, if we don't have a good government, good leader, which we are lacking, I do not see any future. We need people to be honest and come forward. And for once, think about the people, think about the daily living. You know, people are deprived of the daily, like food items, basic necessity, your gas, your electricity, your sugar. Nobody cares for 18th Amendment or 20th Amendment, and they don't even know what it is. If you ask me and there's this NRO going, I'll say, okay, fine. Will it give me anything? Will it give my life, you know, some gas or electricity? No, I don't care.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us. And